47th president, Donald Trump, he wants to take your job away. How you feel and how you're on the edge of your seats when you hear about a government shutdown. 2025, your ass better be focusing on how do I stay in the couple percent? What are you willing to do that the 98% won't do? What's going on? It's your boy Shaod, better known as Z Butterdoor. Welcome back to another episode here on the Talking Personally podcast. And it's going to be juicy, goddammit. Today, we're going to be talking about a couple of things. All right, you know your boy Donald Trump just took seat as the 47th president of the United States, and shit is just going crazy already. All right, on his trail during the campaign, he spoke about, letting those guys out for the January 6th riot. He talked about changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico. We talked about federal workers going back to work as soon as he get a seat. And goddamn it, he is doing exactly what he said he was going to do. The moment he took he started signing his executive orders right there during the inauguration. All right, and we're gonna talk about a few of them today. But before we get into it, first of all, I want you to just listen to this entire episode. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Make sure you comment below. I want your feedback because we're going to do more of this. We're going to do more behind the scenes of me as the host of Talking Personal, but also so you can understand the things and the way that I think, because we're going to talk about mindset today. All right. But just to kick it off, I want to be a light and some inspiration to those of you who feel like, things are just done for you because Donald Trump has taken the seat. All right. And I want to tell you, anyone that's discouraged right now because of the policies and because of the things that he spoke about doing, et cetera, et cetera. I just encourage you, and it behooves you to go ahead and utilize this time as, one, a big lesson. Two, forcing yourself to be disciplined, forcing yourself to really get down to business. All right, because I know for my federal workers, there's different opinions about that, right? There's a lot of people saying, nah, they ass need to be back in work, and you got those who say, nah, it's actually been a better way of living for those people. So we're gonna talk about all these things, but I want you to understand now it's time to get serious about taking care of self. All right. Now it's time to really understand that there's really no security when it comes to a job. And again, I'm talking about my federal workers because, those guys kind of feel like, not guys, but those who are federal workers, they're almost at the highest level of, where we can be at as far as the government job. And they feel like because they got unions and all this good stuff to back them, that they secure. And so therefore they lose sight of starting that bid work that they want, that they've been talking about. And so I want to pop you out today, all right? Because as you know, one of the things that Donald Trump he's been talking about is not wasting government dollars. He feels like there's a lot of different departments within the government that's not needed. All right, you know how he feel about the IRS and all that good stuff. So he's about to start handing out some goddamn pink slips, is what I'm getting to. And again, if you're not serious about living the life that you desire to live without depending on someone else that can tell you bye-bye at any time, whether it's a federal job or not, or you have a union or not, then I'm telling you, you're going to be behind. All right, now is the time to really get serious about reading, really get serious about saying fuck the unnecessary podcast and the balloon show, all of the distractions. All right, because some of you are sitting where you're sitting at in life because you're distracted. All right. And you're not staying ahead of the game. You're not playing chess, you're playing checkers when it comes down to your life and your livelihood. Because again, a lot of you feel as though I got security. And truth be told, you really don't have security unless you running shit. Right? So again, tonight, I want you to really open up your horizon and just hear me out and understand this is coming from a great place. You're going to talk about the opinions of a couple of people I spoke to today. But you got to stop bullshitting around. All right. This is the time for you to get serious about you and your family's livelihood. All right. Do you want to continue to work paycheck to paycheck, or do you want to continue to work? And even if you do got a couple of dollars left over, right? It's time for you to now shift your mindset and understanding that You deserve to be the CEO of these Fortune 500 companies. You deserve to be the one that has that $10 million contract from the government, and then you're passing out. I mean, you're now able to employ people. All right, we got to get out of the mindset of fear of starting a business, being over the business, and all that good stuff. All that shit right there is gonna stop you, and you're gonna stay where you at. Right? You got this. Imagine how you be feeling. And I'm talking to my federal workers again because this is about to be one of the topics we talk about. But I want you to think about how you feel and how you're on the edge of your seat when you hear about a government shutdown. Meaning, if the government don't come to an agreement in Congress, then we're gonna shut the government down and ain't nobody gonna get paid. All right. Let's think about how you feel then. Now let's think about now the 47th president, Donald Trump. He wants to take your job away, right? He want to take your job away, and now you got to try to find another job in the federal government, or go back out to the local level. So please utilize those thoughts as a fire under your ass to start your business. In 2025, your only focus should be starting a business so that you can leave. Because here's the truth of the matter: when he signed that executive order and said, "I want everybody back full time," everybody fucking is the world is going crazy right now, and I understand it. Me personally, I understand it, and we're gonna go ahead and talk about that conversation today. So my cousin, she works for the feds. And goddamn it, she playing chess. She's smart. She went ahead and made sure that her title and her actual job description in the feds was remote. So whether the feds go back to full time or not, she's remote, and it was already established, right? So I'm like, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about all these federal workers who are pissed right now because they got to go back to work? And she say, I think it's fucked up. I said, why? She said, because it's fucked up. It's gonna fuck up the livelihood, or the balanced lifestyle that people have right now with having to go back to work. And I said, okay, tell me more. She like, I mean, people just been able to have, the freedom of going to the gym in the morning because they don't have to wake up 2 hours early to, get themselves ready, eat breakfast, get out of the door, and drive in traffic for an hour. That's one thing. Another thing, the single parents, whether it be single dad or single mother, they now have to figure out how in the hell they gonna get their child back and forth to school. Like she started, jotting down all these things, and I agree with 100% of that. And I'm like, well, I want you to give me your feedback on this because I don't want to be biased on the episode, and I don't want to feel like I'm choosing sides. But maybe it'll be interesting to hear both sides and people see it on both sides instead of one side. Meaning, I heard everything that she said about that, and I said, all right, well, let me get you uncomfortable real quick. How about how about what if COVID never happened and people were still at their 9 to 5 right now? Then what? She said, "No, I got that. Like that's their job. They would have been at work, and it is what it is." Again, I'm not knocking nothing she said. I agree with everything. Like when I first heard him, um, talk about that, I'm like, why? Like it's obvious that the government have shown that they're able to sustain and be successful with people being remote. Right? They saving money because they ain't got all these fucking leases, because the government don't really buy no buildings. They lease them out. They saving, I don't know, probably billions on that alone every year. So why fuck with him? And then when I was talking to my boy, he like, all right, bro, like you right. And I'm telling him the same thing. He like, but this realize and understand how many motherfuckers been finessing. Like let's not talk about just the good side. Let's also talk about the flip side to it. Let's also talk about how a lot of these people have been able to um finesse the clock. All they gotta do is open their computer and lay their doze back off for a couple more hours, and then get back up. And whole time they hitting the clock and they getting down. I said, yeah, you're right, but how about the motherfuckers that also have been able to start a business and live both lives to be able to see, all right, I can sustain with my business. He's like, nah, bro, like that's what I'm talking about. Like I'm not knocking what you're saying. Yeah, it's great. Those people been able to start a business, they've been able to do whatever. But again, let's go back to the people who flying out of the country, being somewhere where they ain't supposed to be. Because if you're a federal employee, you're supposed to tell the government where you at, right? So, and I got it. I'm like, "Alright, you know what, bro? I like this, and I'm glad we doing this because this is exactly what I wanna do for the episode. I wanna just break it down on both ends." So, I think y'all get it with that. I love to, hear your comments below. Me, again, when my thoughts were, "Fuck," like, now all these people gonna have an issue with getting their kids to school, and they don't have no other choice but to pay for that extra the early, daycare. That they probably don't have the money for that. So I understand how it's gonna shift and rock a whole lot of um households. But again, I want you to understand before, you've been able to work remote, you had to figure it out, right? And I'm encouraging you to do that. Don't be it's stressful. I understand that, but don't let this shit get the best of you. Don't let this let you down to where you can't think clear and you don't know what to do, and then you start crashing out. Like, I know it's a lot. Another big one that I was like, "You know what?" I was having a conversation with a friend of mine one time, and, um, we often talk about having a 9 to 5 and being an entrepreneur and how, you know, it's the same, right? Because even as an entrepreneur, you your own boss, but we go through life too. Shit hit the fan, and we gotta be able to figure that out, right? But she was talking, just hearing me talk and seeing how I live and I move and how, I tell the same thing I've been telling you guys for the last 10 years. I wake up and do whatever the fuck I wanna do. Like, I sometimes gotta sit here and figure like, "Damn, like, what am I doing? Let me go out of the house and just go buy some coffee because I need to get the fuck out of the house." Like, it's just like that. Um, but she said, "You know what? I'm tired of fucking having to fake the funk. Like, these people are fucking human as well." And I'm like, "You absolutely right." But the thing is, a lot of you are about to go back into this office and you gonna have to kiss ass and you gonna have to fucking hold that tongue. When you at work, I mean, when you at home remote, you can curse her out. She send that email, you now bitch, you go do it like you could do that. And of course they not know, but now you about to be back in the office. You can't do that, right? But don't get discouraged. Again, use this as some fire under your ass to go and start their business in 2025. All right. Use the thought of I gotta fucking and I understand this because I was in the military. Um, the yes sir, no sir, and bow down to motherfuckers like. And if you really think like me, I'm nigga, you human just like me. I don't give a fuck. I'm not saying I thought like that. Well, sometimes I thought like that in the military, but of course I was tactful. Shout out to Sergeant Michael Fair. Um, he taught me that word, and he that's in the back of my head in many situations in my life till this day. When I gotta hold my tongue sometimes because although I'm my own boss, sometimes I'm in a good ass contract, and if I say what the hell I want to say, I'll lose it. But she said, I had a because she was telling me how it's an event that they go to every year, and they do a training on the campus, and she work a lot of hours and she was talking to her coworkers and everybody was like, "I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm ready to go. We work too many hours." And her coworker was telling her that one day he was so tired, and when I say they work hours, they work hours. They crunching numbers and shit and big numbers, big deals. So she said that I was falling asleep, and my whole team was up. We were all working together, and I just told them, I was tired, and they told me that I still had to work. She said, I said, well, fuck that. These people are they are human just like me. I'm not doing this shit. I would have politely closed that damn computer and took my ass to sleep. Right? It's funny, but to me, I was like, that's fucked up. That's sad. Like, me as a CEO, I care about how my staff feel, and I want to make the environment, a great space for them. So I don't. I mean, of course I don't think I have. Well, no, that's bullshit. I do have businesses where it's like, nah, we gotta go. But I can imagine, 300 or 200 days out of the year that you like fucking half dead and falling asleep, and you can't because if you do, you're gonna get written up or you possibly gonna lose your job, and you know what I'm saying, and understand like a lot of these people they gonna have it, and you already know this. There's nothing that I'm saying that you don't know, but those people feel as though that your career is in their hand. Like, and I know a lot of you know that. Like, they walk around as if like that you'll never go up to the top if it's up to me. Like, you better bow down or you ain't gonna make it. Like, I know that shit is happening a lot. But again, this should be that fire under your ass to go and start that business. All right. So let's talk about um 47 allowing those 1,500 defenders out. All right. This is another thing that we talked about. Um, and me personally, I was like, that shit that's a little scary because the Proud Boys, and not even just the Proud Boys, there's many organizations that was out there, but that was one of the biggest ones. Um, and we're gonna talk about one of the founders of Proud Boy, because he was one of the couple who had the most time, um, as far as those 1,500. But I'm like, that shit is scary because these motherfuckers, you gotta be a crazy motherfucker and have some big nutsacks to go and raid the fucking Capitol. And so I'm like, oh, hell was gonna break loose. And the moment that I said that, I seen because I was paying attention closely to how Trump was about to move. And the moment that I read that he was signing the executive order for all 1,500 defendants of the January 6th riot at the Capitol to be released, and he was like, one of the questions was like, well, how soon? He's like, well, shit, I'm hoping they get out tonight. Like they don't belong to be in there. And I'm like, this shit is about to get real. And as soon as I said that shit, I turned to CNN, and you got DC police at the DC jail. They stand in the doors. They standing in front of the different locations, and they pushing the people back. The rioters are back across the street to get them back. They wasn't playing. The shit already started from there. Like them motherfuckers meant business. Like they, as soon as he signed that executive order, they were already at the jail. But as soon as they got notification that it was signed, them motherfuckers started doing their thing. And to the point where the news, they were showing how DC jail was lit up. Like normally, that you see a couple windows with the light, but the other joints are dark. But that whole joint was lit up, so I can only imagine what the fuck was going on inside of the jail. Can you imagine that? You got these motherfuckers who know they about to get out after doing some crazy shit and harming some people, and now have people walking around with PTSD. Can you imagine how these fucking police officers feel? Those who suffer from injuries, families who've lost their loved ones. Can you imagine how these people feel? Fucked up. It's gonna get nasty and it's gonna get messy because they probably talking their shit in that jailhouse because this motherfucker they don't sell or had been sell with, and now they hear they about to get out. Now they probably want to fuck them up because they get to leave after doing some dumb shit, but they got to stay in there. Then I was thinking about how, damn, when these motherfuckers get out, they gonna feel untouchable. And mark my word, please understand this: 47, that motherfucker is gonna go to the extent of having a fucking party for them at the White House. Mark my word, he's gonna have a dinner for these motherfuckers at the White House. He's gonna come up some way, some reason to invite these motherfuckers to celebrate. So again, in 2025, your ass better be focusing on how do I stay in a couple percent. What are you willing to do that the 98% won't do? Are you willing to go the extent of whatever it is I have to do? I gotta go in here and I gotta work this fucking 9 to 5. But after this 9 to 5, I'm not gonna go home and lay down and kick my feet up because I don't been in the fucking office all day with fucking Sarah, with her pissing me off and me being tired and all this shit. Am I gonna use that as an excuse as to going home and being lazy? I understand we get tired. I understand we need some time. But goddamn it is time for you to be serious about starting your own business. You need to use all of these things that are going around that are distractions and fucking stay ahead. It's not time like 2025. There's no time to be fucking taking no vacations if you really can't afford to, financially and where you at stability wise. If you know that you need to be working on that website or whatever for that business in order for that business to be successful, then you don't deserve to be taking no vacation. Right? And if you do, you don't deserve to go and stay somewhere without that computer. You still need to be working. If you need to go out of town and see some sun, because I'm like that myself. All right, pop out to Miami. Go to Fort Lauderdale. You ain't got to go out of the country, but you can go out of the country, but make sure you stay locked in. So let's get back to it. So he like, yeah, you right, bro. But again, we talking about pros and cons, checks and balances. He's like, yeah, you right. And I'm about to piss you off, but that was some gangster shit, bro. And we laugh. I'm like, it is, but it's crazy. He like, nigga, it's and don't get me wrong, I understand where you coming from, but I'm like, that's really some gangster shit. And then we weren't laughing. He was like, just think about that shit, nigga. Like, These motherfuckers kill officers. They put a whole lot of them motherfuckers in the hospital. And now these motherfuckers, for the person that they did all that for, has been able to just release them like it was nothing. That was some mob type shit. That was some gangster shit. I'm like, yeah, you're right. But before I move from this, because I ain't really, do no research or whatever about these guys, but I was reading on AP News that Enrique Tarrio and Stuart Rose, those were the two highest profiles of the January 6th defendants. And they received the quote unquote harshest punishment. Enrique, he got 18 years, and Rhodes, he had gotten 22 years. So imagine that, y'all. Imagine the two highest profiles of two individuals of an organization that stormed the fucking Capitol and just took over. They got the evidence was so proven that they got these harsh 18 and 22 years. Right? And now they been let out on the street. What the fuck you think gonna happen? Them motherfuckers, they really feel like they untouchable. They invisible. So again, and this is gonna happen in the workhouse. The motherfuckers, they coming back. They already know this. Y'all feel it through the fucking computer. Imagine how you gonna feel when you get back in that motherfucker. So again, let that be and again, don't look at the distraction of, oh, they let these people out. No. Chess, not checkers. I know this shit is about to happen. Let me prepare. This is how you need to shift your mindset. It needs to be the fire under your ass to go ahead and start that business. If you don't get serious this year and pay attention to what the fuck is going on, you're going to be a part of the 98% and you're going to be broke. Right now is when the rich is going to get richer. And unfortunately, the poor are going to fucking, they going to feel it. So it's up to you on what side you want to be on. Let this be the fire under your ass to go and start that business. Fuck all that fear. We don't have time for fear. We got motherfuckers that's about to come back to these jobs, probably get a little contract at the White House, and they coming. A lot of y'all played around talking shit. Talking about, I'm leaving the United States. Knowing damn well you can't afford it, but I'm really on it. Anybody close to me, that's all I've been talking about lately. I don't fucking need to be here. My businesses are automated. I choose to go and step foot into my businesses. Them motherfuckers, they don't need me here. So I can roll. But you can't even afford that because you bullshitting around. You scrolling on TikTok. You scrolling. Y'all motherfuckers had a heart attack when they took TikTok. I'm like, what the fuck is the beef about? Because you need to be entertained by a motherfucker dancing? So, again, in 2025, if you ain't doing nothing, you better be getting serious and locked in about starting that business. Before I move on to the other things that we want to talk about, I wanted to pause for a second. I'm not getting paid for this, but for if you've been following me, you know that I often tell you, instead of listening to the bullshit rap and R&B and shit when you're in the car, either turn on a podcast, audio, or video, however you choose to. And when you got some downtime, well, not if, make it, because we all got enough time in a day to where we can do whatever it is that we don't want to do. We're just lazy, we procrastinate, excuse me, and we just lay back. But I encourage everyone to fucking read, right? And so my boy Boone, shout out to Boone, he had posted a inspirational post one morning, and in his post was this book. Again, I ain't getting paid for this, but I want you guys to understand and know that I really want to see you do well. But this book is called Choose Your Enemies Wisely, Business Planning for the Audacious Few. And it's a couple of things that stood out to me on this book, just by the cover. I didn't even read into it. Honestly, I said, you know what? I know if my boy reading, I know it's some good sauce in there, so I ain't got to look into it. But me personally, I dissect a lot of things. I dissect everything. I seen the chess. I said, okay, well, whoever this author is, they definitely talking about some moves that the average not even thinking about. So that stood out to me. But this word audacious is what stood out to me. And for those of you who don't know what audacious means, that means to be bold. That means to go at it no matter what you think the negative outcome is, I'm gonna go. That means just to bust through that motherfucker. All right. So when I seen that, and then I seen business plan, of course, I said, you know what? That's a book I need. Um, so I want you guys to take this. I just got them today. I seen an Amazon box for the last 2 days downstairs, and I'm like, I know I ain't order shit, so I thought it was a miracle, but um, it was my books, and when I got upstairs, I was like, "Oh shit, those are my books. Yeah, I need that." And of course, Amazon got me with the upsell. They got me with the funnel. All right. For those of you who don't know what a funnel is, you need to find out what a funnel is because you need to go ahead and invest in, get some time, and start and make yourself a digital product and have an upsell. Start a book off at $17, and then when they get to the car, hey, I got two more for $10 each. I'll let you take it. All right. But anyway, they got me with the funnel, and I got the psychology of money, timeless lessons on wealth, greed, and happiness. All right, I got that one, and then I got the your next 5 moves, master the art of business strategy. All right, so these are my 3 that I'm reading right now. Um, what I'm getting disciplined with doing is getting up at 3:30 in the morning, pray, pull out a book real quick, stretch, listen to audio, whatever it means, but get some education when I'm first starting, and then head over to the gym. And then eat my breakfast and all that good stuff. So that's what I'm working on to better myself. All right. For those of you who have your 9 to 5 right now and you just using that 9 to 5 as a temporary placement to take the money that you make you from there to then go and find yourself a mentor or find the tools and resources that you need to start a business, versus going out and eating every day, going out on the weekends, buying your weed, getting your liquor, doing all these things that are distractions and really that's helping you not get to the next level. We're gonna put all that shit to the side. We're gonna understand that we're gonna go work out 9 to 5, and although we tired and we don't feel like doing shit else because we've been kissing ass all day and somewhere that I didn't want to be at and tired, we're gonna go ahead and do anything in addition to this 9 to 5 to bring in some money. So I can then take that money and go find myself a mentor because a lot of you, I got it, I get it. It's a lot of these motherfuckers on social media that pretend to know it all, and they got this business and that business. They're making this 100,000 a month. This and that. I get it, but you got to find somebody that is doing something that you want to do and lock in with that person. If you trying to start a water sports rental business, then you know that you could come and holler at the boat go. All right, you know that I'm the real deal. If you go down my Instagram feed, you'll see from beginning to end. Ain't none of this shit fake. Ain't none of this shit scripted. I really got a master's captain license with the United States Coast Guard. I really got millions out of the game. I really got everything that I say I have. I'm really rocking out one of the coldest R&B water vibe events every Friday. Like I'm really doing these things. I'm not like coming up with the strategies and telling you come and buy because this is what I'm doing and I'm really not doing it. I got that. But you got to lock in with somebody. So you need to go ahead and do anything that you need to do legally in addition to that 9 to 5. You got to put your pride to the side. And I'm not even being funny. If it calls for you to have to go fucking work at McDonald's for 6 months, go do it. If it's gonna cost for you to put some extra miles in your car because you got to go drive Uber or Lyft, or you got to go and do the Instacart, or you got to go delivery. I used to be a fucking this is when I was in high school. So imagine being a high school student and then still working a full 9 to 5, right? I always had this hustle. I was never lazy when it came down to getting that money. I didn't want to sell drugs when I was growing up, so I went and got a job. I used to work at fucking McDonald's. My first job was a bagger at Giant grocery store. Then I got bored with that. I said, this ain't enough money. I don't want to stay here and bag nobody groceries. Like I used all of my uncomfortable lifestyles as motivation to get to where the fuck I'm trying to go at. So I want you guys to take that. That's something that I've been able to use in my personal life to help me become where, the successful serial entrepreneur. Because I had this mindset as a younger, but it's never too late. So even if you're 35, 55, 65, I hope you're taking in what I'm putting down. You have to use these uncomfortable situations, all these things that are going around that are distractions, as your motivation to take that leap of faith. Because that's all it is. This shit is not hard. Getting those uncomfortable jobs, in addition to your 9 to 5 already, to get the capital that you need to then go pay for a mentor, and that mentor do your due diligence. Look for those real testimonials, not no AI testimonials. Like research them, look their name up, look on their YouTube. Like a person, they can only fake it, but for so long. And when I say I want you to go down my feed and scroll all the way, I'm talking about years and years, years and years ago, and you're gonna see that none of this shit is fake. All this shit that I'm talking about, I'm not making this shit up. I'm really like you really can go on my page right now and see how I've come from zero and I've built this thing up to now riding around every day in a Rolls Royce as a hoopty, eating the finest dining, taking the flyest trips, right? You see all of that shit now. Go down my page. Again, I got receipts. I'm not just talking, I can show you. And then I want you to go find your favorite guru and go down their page and see how many times they gotta recycle videos and pictures and shit. So I ain't telling you not to do your due diligence, but don't take too long doing it. But do whatever you gotta do to make that additional bread to buy a course. Get a mentorship. I just did it myself. I'm in a class myself. I gotta teach tonight. And tomorrow I'm a student. I was a student last night. So I ain't got it all. I don't know everything that I need to know. So therefore, I still have to practice what I preach. And therefore I'm doing it. I had to lock in, get a course. Bro, I don't shout out to my boy Smitty. I said, bro, listen, we can do bop 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 or we can do bop. I said, you know what? I'm gonna do bop. And bop was I'm gonna go ahead and pay you. You my boy, and you probably would give me the information, but I'm gonna go ahead and invest in myself. I'm gonna give you the bread so I ain't gotta keep texting you or calling you and figuring out, bro, how do I do this? I'm gonna go ahead and pay you for what you were. And I was able to use that information to turn around and get 2 approvals immediately. So you gotta be on the same shit in 2025. You can't be bullshitting around. You gotta understand these motherfuckers ain't playing fair. It's me or nobody. So in 2025, you better get serious. All right. So moving along. We talked about the Proud Boys. We talked about the federal workers going back to work. We talked about so now the next one was it was talking about Trump signing an executive order stating that there's no longer going to be any birth citizen rights. Meaning, for those of you who don't know, if you are an undocumented resident of the United States and you have a child in America, your child can no longer be a U.S. citizen because you are an undocumented resident. And I was talking to my boy. I'm like, what's your take on that? He said, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I said, all right, break it down to me. He like, all right, here's the flip. We playing devil's advocate, so this podcast could be fire, so we can see it on both sides. He said, think about how many people have been able to get into America, get resources, get free money, get all of these things for free. An American, somebody who was born here, lived their entire life and has never left this country, can't even go do that. I said, I got that though. I get it. I said, but what is it? What is it? Because the ones that I know, they not. Those aren't the ones who are. And we talking. My point being was because I ain't gonna go down that rabbit hole. My point being was what is it harming? And not my point. This was another conversation I had. Her point was what are those people harming? They not the ones who are they're not the ones who are committing crimes. And then you gotta and this is why I sided on her at. You gotta understand, a lot of these motherfuckers are the reason why a lot of these businesses are successful. You understand me? A lot of and I peeped this shit the other day. I ain't gonna call the restaurant out because I ain't gonna do that. Um, but they got a chain. It's a restaurant here in the DMV. They have a chain of restaurants around the DMV, and I've gone to a couple of them, recently. And just like any other business that you see running successful and is a good spot, they had them quote unquote undocumented people working. And then the flip side is people argue, well, yeah, they work for nothing and they do this and nah, them motherfuckers just not lazy. They understand the mission, and their mission is I'm gonna go over here, I'm gonna get this motherfucker paper, I'm gonna be uncomfortable, and then I'm gonna send that shit back to the crib, and I'm gonna build my goddamn house or whatever it is that I need to build over there. So we can learn from both sides. And I just wanted to break that down so you see it on both sides. Yes, it's fucked up that these individuals are able to get resources that we haven't been able to get. But shit, them people are the reason why some of these goddamn, resources that you have are up. These apartment buildings, these nannies, these, cooks, these, even officials, government officials, like all of these people are the reason why we moving the way that we moving. And I can as a CEO, I can say that one of my employees are Hispanic, and that motherfucker go hard. He wakes up every day like he's the reason why one of my government contracts that's worth a few million. He's the reason why that business is trucking. Like I don't have to talk to this man at all. I literally go and check up on him, because that's just who I am as a CEO. I go in once a quarter and we talk through. I text or whatever, but He's the reason why my business is sustained like that. So then the next conversation went into, well, what you think about the only 2 genders in the US? I said, "Listen, man, we ain't even gotta talk about that. Me, personally, them motherfuckers ain't harming nobody. Um, they probably some of the coolest people out here. If you decide that's not your flavor, then it is what it is. But why are we focusing our government time on whether a motherfucker gonna have, whatever they have? Like, let people be who they are. That was my take on it. Um, we got way bigger fish to fry, i.e., we need to figure out why is it that we still got people here in America that's homeless, and before you say, well, a lot of people choose it. Yeah, they do. But you ain't gonna go to fucking Saudi Arabia and see no homeless people like that. And if you do, it's only a couple. And them motherfuckers damn near killed you because they didn't want to come in the house. Right? But that's why I think our focus should be on. Not whether or not, somebody want to change, their sex or identify themselves as, a certain sex. The whole abortion ban thing. Like, why the fuck are we meddling with a woman's decision? Because you don't want us to reproduce, or you want us to reproduce, or you don't want to be the minority? Like, why? Shout out to all the ladies. Um, and we ain't even going to that. There was no conversation about that. That's just what it was and what it needed to be. But again, y'all, if you don't do anything else during this moment, during this time, please, I'm begging you, please cut out the distractions. Please get into educating yourself. Right now, with 47 men in the seat, you need to be focused on that dollar because you gotta understand this nigga is a businessman. All right? You need to understand that this man is a businessman. And right now he's moving as a businessman. And you need to be moving as a businessman. Meaning, everybody's talking about fucking crypto. You need to be learning about it. All you doing is hearing and seeing about, oh, Bitcoin just went from 50,000 to 80,000 to 100,000 to whoo. Tesla about to do some things. Trump got his own coin. Melania got her own coin. Dogecoin. Like, stay woke. These are the things that you need to be focusing on. We shouldn't be focusing on the distractions. Megan Thee Stallion, Tory. I keep using that same example because that's the most recent. But well, no, that ain't the most recent. Has been Cameron and what's the nigga name? Jim Jones. About how Jimmy was brought on and all that. Like, fuck all of that. Who cares? That shit ain't putting no money in my pocket. That's a distraction. That's the shit that they want you to pay attention to. They don't want you to see what's going on in the stock market. But guess what? Now they can't hide that shit no more. You can't just be on Wall Street and get this information now. Now we have these motherfucking expensive phones that they probably only use a couple of dollars to make and sell it to us for $13, $15, and $2,000. You need to be using this motherfucker for what it's worth. When you're on these goddamn apps, you're not looking at it for the tea, y'all. You need to be self-educating. Shout out to Aristotle. Shout out to Wall Street Trapper. Shout out to Chris Johnson. Like, all of these people are out here to show you how to fucking do it. Not everybody on the internet is trying to scam you. But are you willing to do what you got to do in addition to your 9 to 5, work this uncomfortable job or do this uncomfortable thing legally? Whatever. Don't do no side. Don't get your ass on OnlyFans and all that, showing toes and shit. I ain't saying go do that. All right. But I'm saying really go and just put your pride to the side for 6 months. And here's another thing, y'all. You don't have to stay in America. Like, you really can leave. You really can. Like, I've been watching it and I've been talking about it so much. I promise you, I'm at the point where I'm ready to sell my motherfucking house, the double R's, take my motherfucking profits and roll. Because why am I paying 45, 50,000 a month in bills when I can pay fucking 1% of that in another country and be oceanfront? Like, I'm on some real shit. I can't wait until I can slide my big ass sliding clear through door open and walk out on my backyard in front of my pool with the oceanfront ass naked, drinking my motherfucking orange juice. Like, that's what I'm on. So again, in 2025, get serious about starting that business. Get serious about starting that business. We don't have time to operate on fear, y'all. Don't spend the unnecessary money. Meaning, if you ain't got to go out and eat, fucking cook. And to me personally, I've been able to lose 50 pounds by cooking in the house, eating out once a week, working out every day. I feel good as a motherfucker. I got so much energy and shit now. cut my own hair and shit. I gotta shape my shit up because I'm leaving in a couple of days to go back out of the country for the 4th time. And it's only what is this, January 21st? It's only 21 days in a year, and I'm already done been out of the country 4 times. Because I believed in myself. I was uncomfortable. I went out and got the information. I ain't lazy. I'm a go-getter. I don't need nobody to dig me up. I don't need nobody, "Hey, I'm proud of you." I don't like, I appreciate that, but I don't need that. I'm a hustler. Imma go get this shit by any means fucking necessary. If I gotta get up at 3:30 in the morning to get my day started so I can be able to have time to spend with my daughter later on, then that's what Imma do. If I gotta get up and fucking fly to another country just to pop my face in because now I got a business out of the country because I stepped out there on faith, I ain't let all that fear bullshit hold me back, Imma do it. You afraid to give your kids whatever they want? Because that's on the opposite side of risk. Being able to give your children whatever you it's very rare that my kids come to me and say, "Dad, can I?" And I say no. And if I ever say no, it's just because I don't have the time right there. So do you wanna continue to live this uncomfortable lifestyle, have to answer to somebody that you can't fucking stand, you hate their guts, or do you say, "You know what? This is my lock-in season. This is my lock-in season. Shawty, I hear everything you saying. This is my lock-in season. I'm not gonna take that trip. I'm not gonna spend that $5,000 because if I could spend that $5,000, then I can go ahead and take this $5,000, find me an ads person, and Imma go ahead and break that down every month. Imma take that 5,000 and split it between the 12, and Imma go ahead and use that budget right there as my ads." Because I know in 2025, if you ain't shooting content, you missing out on a whole lot of money. So my talent that I have, I don't necessarily have to go open up no brick and mortar, but my talent I have, there's so many people out here who can benefit from it, and it can help them within their lives that they can pay me $27 for this ebook, and I can sell 1,000 of those, and I can have that can pay my rent. Imma lock in, shot. I'm not gonna go and buy those $1,500 Balenciagas. I ain't gonna go and get that $1,500 Louis Vuitton bag because that shit ain't gonna put no money in my pocket. It only makes me look good for temporarily. I can only post it a couple of times on social media before motherfuckers say, "All right, whatever." You ain't got it like that. You ain't got another bag. Stop letting these people put you in competition. Stop trying to keep up with the Jones, as they used to say, or the Johnsons, whatever it is. It start with a J. It's time to lock in. We're not taking no trips. We're not buying no unnecessary materialistic shit. Ladies, respectfully, you don't have to get a new wig every goddamn month. You better go ahead and get the right horsehair and goddamn one time and recycle that motherfucker. Wash it, wash it, wash it, wash it. Keep that same hairstyle, keep it moving. Or rock your nacho. Y'all, listen, ladies, y'all so gorgeous, man. It's so many of you that don't even need no goddamn wig. You lazy. I don't want to put the heat on my hair. All right, well, figure out how that shit rock out without the heat. But seriously, just imagine how much bread you wasted when you can be taking that money to go find a mentor, a course, or something. Like what I'm doing now, like, growing up or being a new entrepreneur, you often hear, you gotta have multiple streams of income. And multiple streams of income does not mean having 10 businesses. Understand that. It does not mean having 10 businesses. It means that one, like in the boat world, it took me so many years to figure it out. Because I'm beginning to learn the marketing side to shit. But within the boat industry, there's so many ways to make money that my 7 multiple streams of income can be just in the boat world. You can be a mobile detailer. You can be a mobile mechanic. You can be someone, i.e., to like one of my mentees, Mike South out in St. Louis. He's gonna have an ice cream boat where he's serving ice cream and hot dogs and stuff to people who are on their boats. You can be a transporter. You can be a broker. You can own a charter business. You can I just gave you 7 right there. There's so many ways in that one industry. So it doesn't mean you gotta have all these different businesses. And it doesn't mean that you gotta go get a brick and mortar. Start your goddamn netting and making your blankets and shit. I promise you, like, stop sleeping on yourself, man. Stop sleeping on yourself. If you don't do nothing else this year, let this be the year that you gain discipline. And I'm talking real discipline, y'all. And I'm gonna end it here shortly. Like, I want you to really understand that you can do this. You can do this. And producer slash director Jamal just hopped off the phone. I mean, off the set to answer the phone because somebody's calling Shaw's Exotics to rent out the Rolls Royce for prom. I'm sitting here in one of my favorite spots in my room in front of my fireplace on this comfortable ass beanbag, giving you some inspiration and motivation and letting you know, no matter where you come from, no matter what you look like, you deserve to be on top as well. You deserve to have that lifestyle that you desire. You deserve to not have to clock somebody else's time clock, but you got to put in the work. You got to use this time right now, these uncomfortable situations that, again, that we learned tonight are distractions. Don't worry about like what you when it comes to, and when I say don't worry about what's going on in the White House or up on Capitol Hill, I'm not saying don't worry about what they're doing. No, worry about it. That's you need to be paying attention to politics. If you never did before, now is the time that you really need to be paying attention to politics because the motherfuckers are so bold in today's world that they tell you what they're gonna do. So you need to stay ahead of the game. You need to the BOI thing that just came out. For those who have businesses, you need to be reporting who's the owner, et cetera, et cetera. Like a lot of you, I ain't gonna call you foolish because you pay for convenience, but a lot of you went out and paid somebody to fill out a free form and paid them motherfuckers a lot of money. But you could have taken the time to just read and you know what's crazy to me? A lot of you will take the time to go research bullshit, but you won't take the same time to go research something that will benefit you. Like a lot of you will hear that Rich Homie Quan died, and now you taking a whole 30 minutes to do investigation as to how he died, trying to find the videos of how he died, it being an overdose or not an overdose. Like you take the time to research that, but you don't take the time to research how do I start a home healthcare business to where I just do transportation. I transport medical patients back and forth from their home to the hospital. How do I go and get a government contract with the Veteran Affairs doing that, especially if I'm a veteran? You don't take the time to go do that type of research, but you take the time to research the distraction. The media wants you distracted. The government wants you distracted so you don't see what's going on in the real world. All right. So understand that. So again, y'all, in 2025, if you don't do anything else this year, use this moment and this time to become very disciplined. Use this time to step out there on fear and start that business. Get in the discipline of working out, eating good, shifting your mindset to I don't have to live here in America. I could take my kids and we can move to Honduras and eat some of the freshest fruits and the nicest meat. Like I could take my kids to Spain and now they learn abroad. Like that's where my mindset at now. Like me and my cousin was talking earlier and she like, I'm like, yo, I'm ready to go, Mo. She's like, yeah, I mean, that'll be actually be cool for Miracle to um learn abroad for her high school year. Now we're in another country eating good, butlers, I mean, we like we would be good and living at peace while learning another language, while sipping my ties, popping the champagne whenever. Start getting in that mindset. You don't have to stay here in America. Go see the world, man. When you go see it, I promise you, you won't never want to come back here. There's nothing here but inflated shit. I pay 5 bands a month for my crib. It's $1 million crib. But guess what? I could be in fucking, I don't know. I could be in DR and build my house probably for a quarter of what I paid. You can get your citizenship. All right, you don't have to stay here, man. So again, don't focus on this 9 to 5 this year. Like only understand that you there to make your money, take that money and invest in your business and be out. I'm gonna leave it there, y'all, man. I hope you really enjoyed this episode. I hope you really take the time to really write down your goals and execute on those goals. And I want you to come back and check in. Like I'll make sure I put my Instagram and all my different ways of engaging with me because I engage with my audience. But tap in. Let me know how it's going. I want to know everything. If you don't agree with what I said, that shit tell me. Let me know. I wanna get some feedback. All right. But until then, it's been great. Again, this is the Talking Personal podcast. We do nothing but talk about every single thing in life, current, past, testimonies, trials, tribulations. We laugh, we cry. But we do exactly what the name of the show is, which is Talking Personal. If you haven't done so already, please take the time out to subscribe, turn on your notifications, because we back at it every single week. And if you ever want to be a guest on the show, there's a way for you to reach out. Give us your story. Let us know what you've gone through and where you at now, and the different resources and tools that you've been able to use to end up where you are. And before I get out of here, another thing that you need to do in 2025 is go get a therapist, man. Ladies and gentlemen, go find a therapist, and I promise you, it'll do you just right. Until then, talk personal, baby.
Personal talk, let's have a personal talk. Personal talk, hey, yeah. Let's talk personal. Let's talk about that shit that's deep inside is really hurting you. Let's talk about the industry and how they overworking you. It's okay to be broke if you stay there, then that's personal. Let's talk what you trying to do. Let's talk what you trying to be. Trying to stack that money up to nobody as rich as me. Let's talk about our history. No, let's talk about that mystery. Let's sit down, have a personal talk. You gotta meet it with some action. We can show you how to walk. Ay, compounded interest, stacking up my digits. You ain't got no paper, we could show you how to get it. You a drug dealer, you could probably run a business. Yes, I went to college, sorry mama, I ain't finished. I'm a boss now, look around, nobody stepping up. I ain't been around, I stayed down till I got my cheddar up. Now it's Rolls Royces, lot of horses, ain't no catching up. We know niggas broken, niggas hating, but they ain't a threat to us.